Hello, everyone. I'm Corinne Crabtree. I am the CEO and founder of the No BS Weight Loss Program, the CEO and founder of the No BS Business Women's Program. And today is all about business. So this is the business side of things. If you're watching the replay, you can follow me on this Facebook page and you can see other free classes that I have taught. So you can learn all kinds of free stuff from me. If you are watching the replay, I highly encourage you to share this. I encourage you to follow me, and I encourage you to tag someone in your business circle who would love to hear this message. And today we're going to talk about compelling offers and how do you create one. So inside my membership right now, we are moving into the month of October, and every month I teach a workshop to all of my members, and then we spend the entire month hot seating, answering questions, getting business advice, and implementing different things. And did you join yesterday? Carla, hey. And so this month we're focusing on creating your compelling offer. And then next month we'll be focusing on how do you make compelling offers. So I wanted to break it up into two things. And as you know, once a month I go live on Facebook for everyone. And I like to teach a small part of what I'm going to be teaching the entire membership. So if you're coming here and you listen to this and you think this sounds amazing, you can join us at, hang on, let me get the right address because I don't want to be giving out the wrong thing. I'm still like, y'all, this is like a lesson in new business. I've been running the No BS Weight Loss membership for 15 years. I know every URL like it's the back of my hand. I still have to have my team send me the Cliff Notes versions of, now what are our free courses? Now what are what's our website and stuff? So for all of you, I get what it's like when you're building a new business. I've got one that's 8 figures, and then I've got one that I'm creating from scratch. So even when you part of a compelling offer has nothing to do with how smooth and prepared you are for every time you go live. Like when you want to make your offers, y'all get too screwed up in your head about being perfect and stuff. And I'm just here to tell you, keep sheet notes. Tell people when you got to look at something. Let them know, I don't know this off the top of my head. So for all of you, if you want to join us tomorrow to see the entire workshop after I teach you this part, you can go to nobsbusinesswomen.com and you can sign up today. And then tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Time, you can join us for the entire workshop, plus get access to all the workshops that we've been doing since I launched this membership back in July. Now, let's talk about the compelling offers. Okay, because I think this is really important. Then I'll give y'all all kinds of ways to get into my free content and all that kind of stuff after. The first thing that you need to know is there are 4 key components to building a compelling offer. And a compelling offer just means you have something people want, and they want it a lot. Like you're super interested in it, your people. And the 4 parts are, number 1, you actually have to know who the fuck you're talking to. That's like step 1. And so one of the things I've been doing in the No BS Business membership is I have been narrowing down, who do I talk to? Really, who is the person I'm super passionate about, and they are the first person I want to help. And for me, it's really those people who are just starting out and trying to get above the 100K. Now, I can help people, and a lot of the stuff that I'm doing inside the membership helps people at all levels. But when I really think about who do I want to serve from the get-go, I'm narrowing down to an ideal client avatar. For new people, there is a lot of shit out there all over everybody talks about whether you need or niche or not. Let me tell you my opinion. My opinion is we want to get a narrow niche. It doesn't have to be laser, but you definitely want to narrow down because it makes it easier for you when you're writing your copy, when you're creating sales pages, when you're talking. If you're trying to do a little bit of everything and you're not a skilled marketer, your hill is harder to climb. So the less skills naturally you have in marketing, the more you need to consider having that ideal client, because then you're going to build your program better. You'll know the obstacles that they have. When it's time to talk and sell, you'll be using examples that your people will hang on to. It's just like in weight loss. I started out My ideal client was someone who was like me. They had struggled all of their life with their weight. And they had a lot of weight to lose, like over 100 pounds. And when I first started, I had people come to me at all sizes, but I always talked about this 100 pounds. And there would be people who would naturally ask me, like, well, is this going to work for me? And it's like, of course it's going to work for you. But Corinne needed to get really good at her examples, her stories. I needed to get really good at the pain points of this one type of person. So the same thing is in the business. I'm really focusing on, like, what was it like when I was building? What is it like in the early stages of a new business? I really want to narrow in on that person so that my examples are clear. My stories are clear. Everything when I'm talking is clear. If I'm trying to talk to somebody who's making 7 and 8 figures and trying to talk to somebody who's making, 10K, the stories are going to sound too outlandish for the 10K person, and they're going to sound too basic for the 7-figure person. So you just kind of have to pick your horse and ride it. And then a lot of times as you create your offers, other people will hear your stuff and think like, well, I don't know if I'm a right fit, but I love what they have to say. Let them ask you. What I find most of y'all get hosed up in is like when we start trying to narrow who we're talking to down when it comes to a client, an ideal client, it's like you hear this. Well, I need a niche and an ideal client. And if other people come to me, I have to tell them no. No, you just want to be everything that you talk about publicly points in one direction. And then if other people want a piece of your action, they'll ask. And you can be like, of course I can help you. And here's why it's different for you. Like, here's what I can do for you that's nuanced, that's unique, and that's special. So don't get too hung up in this idea that you shouldn't pick an ideal client. I think it just makes your whole journey easier. Now, when we do our workshop tomorrow, the full-blown version for my members, I am going to give you like the steps on how to narrow down that ideal client. We've kind of been working on that a little bit. I have formalized it even more. That will be a part of your workshop tomorrow. The second part of building a compelling offer is you actually have to now create the offer. So I got to know who I'm talking to. And now it's time to create the offer. What is it that I am going to teach someone? What is it that I'm going to do? Like, what does it look like? What are my deliverables? Like, are we going to be on Zoom? Are we going to be in person? Are we going to be on the phone? Do they get a Slack channel? Do we do WhatsApp? Am I Voxering? How much contact are they going to have with me? Do I create a course? Or do I just not create a course? Like, what am I going to do? So you really want to, step 2 is figure out that offer. And then the third key piece to creating a compelling offer is, what assets are you going to give someone? So like if you are, let's say, let's use my business world as an example. One of the things that I know that I wanted every person when it came to, you should join my membership. Like in my membership, we're going to do workshops every month. So every month we are finishing the workshops with a completed PDF guide. It's like I think our last one was over 70 pages of, like this month we're doing emails. We are doing all things email sequences and stuff. And one of the things that I gave them was I gave them every piece of copy that we wrote for our latest launch in the No BS weight loss side. I also gave them every single email that I send out in both of my funnels, my funnel for my business side and my funnel for my weight loss side. So you have to decide like what assets will be put inside my program. Like every single one of my business members, both sides of my business, actually, if you're a business member, you get the yearly planning guide with the 90-day productivity planner. So everybody gets a planner. It's a PDF digital download. Same thing on my weight loss side. Well, one of the deliverables that I was like, what is going to be an asset for our members? They need a 30-day weight loss planner. So every member gets one of those. So you want to, when you're thinking about your compelling offer, you want to think about, this is how I always ask it. When I was in their shoes, what would I have loved to have? Like, what would I have been like, oh, if I just had this, my job, like everything would be easier. So I think, because for a lot of us, we are our ideal client in the beginning. we have solved a problem, or we're so close to a problem that we really understand it. So when it comes to like, these are like creating the offer, this is like the things I'm going to teach, and this is the things I'm going to do. Building your assets is, what would someone love to have in their hot little hands? And so you think about those things. And that's what I've thought about in both of my memberships, is like, what are things people would love to have? The last thing you do is you decide on your price. So the 4 steps to creating a compelling offer are: know your ideal client avatar. You want to create the offer. What is that going to be? You want to build the assets that you're going to give them. Don't give them too many. Just give them what they would love. And then you want to decide on the price at the end. I like deciding the price at the very end. I like to build offers out first, and then I decide the offer. Now, you can do it right the opposite. You can run your numbers. You can decide how much revenue you want to make. And then you can decide like, all right, and I'm going to be able to handle this many people. I'm going to be able to do this much stuff. And what you can do is you can say like, all right, this is how many units that I'm going to need to sell. So it's like, this is how many memberships I'll need to sell. This is how many private coaching slots I'm going to need to sell. This is how many courses I'm going to need to sell. And then you know the price that it's going to get you to that goal based on like how much you want to work and what all you want to do. And then you build the offer out. What would make it a no-brainer? What would make it compelling for that person? So either way works. Tomorrow, I'm going to teach about like what not to do when you're pricing. Number one thing that we're going to talk really hard about is we never build the price based on our self-worth. So this is where I start talking to y'all about your mindset. So often what stops you from becoming a successful business person has nothing to do with like, you don't have enough tactics, or you're not a great copywriter yet, or you don't have enough marketing experience. It's our shitty ass self mindset. And I see it creep up the most when it comes to pricing. We always want to be pricing, like set aside all your doubts. If people loved you, if people wanted your stuff, then what would the price be? So we'll talk a lot more about that tomorrow. But the one thing I want to teach you today that I really want to dive into is a piece of this entire course that I'm teaching tomorrow on what type of program should you start with. Now, everybody's got different things. Like my weight loss course it can be done in 30 days. When our weight loss members, if they want a one-on-one coach, they can hire one through me. And it's a 12-week program. Like it's 12 weeks of coaching and stuff like that. In my business membership, it is like every month we do a course, we're doing a workshop, and we're doing coaching. But what the big question that I get is when people are trying to decide, especially with their one-on-one and group stuff, is like, how long should it last? And I have a theory, and I want to share it with you today about what you can do and what to think about when you're building out, but you can always decide anything you want. So if you hear this and let's say you've got a 6-month course, or you sell a 6-month package or a year-long package, do not think you're doing it wrong. I just want you to consider this option. The easiest programs to sell, and this is why I do a 3-month one inside of No BS Weight Loss, is a 12-week program. And it's easy for these reasons. Number one, when you start trying to sell somebody 6 months of coaching or 12 months of coaching, you kind of got to be a little bit better of a salesperson. Like you need to have your chops behind you. So you could maybe start as a 12-week and then move up eventually. But when a client hears 6 to 12 months, this is what their brain starts saying. Oh shit, man, to like feel better, to lose my weight, to build my business, to make money, to get confident, whatever you're coaching on. That's a long time to be in pain. In their mind, they don't know that like working with you every step of the way is going to feel better. You have to think about where they're coming from. They're like, I feel like shit, or I don't have what I want. And when you tell me I'm going to need to work on it for 6 to 12 months, you better be really good at selling me on the idea that we're going to enjoy the ride. Just like with my weight loss people. It's a hard sell to tell someone like, yeah, you're going to need to be in my membership for about a year. That's my average person stays for 18 months. I don't talk about it. You know why? Somebody who struggled with their weight all their life, when they hear that, they're like, I am going to hate myself and be restricted for 18 months. Their brain goes to what's happened in the past or their current pain. Their brain is not sitting there being like, oh, wow, 6 months with you. That's a good long time. I can relax and be self-paced. That is not how a client thinks. A client is thinking, I want you to help me feel better. How fast can we get that shit done? So 12 weeks is kind of like a doable snack. That does not mean that you are going to, like, if somebody comes to me and they need to lose 100 pounds, and I'm talking like this 12-week program, this doesn't mean in 12 weeks you've lost 100 pounds. It means in 12 weeks, you'll be well on your way. In 12 weeks, you'll have momentum at your back. And then you can renew them at the end. But I want you to think about 12 weeks is something that somebody feels like they might have some patience to be able to accomplish. It's easier for you to sell. The other thing, people hear 6 months, especially for a year-long. Year-long programs are a bitch and a half to sell unless you're really good at selling the before and after. And someone makes it's a natural conclusion that it should take a year. Like, I just signed up for a very exclusive mastermind that's for 1 year. But in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking, like, I want to grow my business. It makes sense that growing your business in a methodical way where you're going to make changes and you're going to try things and test that would take a year. So you have to think about your client. They start thinking, I don't have time. Like, they're looking out at 6 months and a year and they're saying soccer, carpooling, jobs, holidays, vacations. They're thinking of everything that they got to do in the next 6 to 12 months and trying to squeeze your ass in. And most of them are more motivated not to pay you to get out of pain. They're more motivated to change nothing, to buy into their own excuses. So I just want you to think about, like, with your compelling offer, when you're creating it, you have to be creating it from the mindset of who's purchasing it, not your mindset. You're already excited. You already, you know all the things, but you got to be thinking about, like, what do they think? And now I got to construct my offer around that. The third thing about a 12-week program that's good is that they want to change now. And when you think about 12 weeks, you can position some changes that can be had and some changes that can be made. And that doesn't feel far off. When you're talking 6 months in a year, you've got to be really skilled at showing them, well, in 2 months, this will happen. And in 4 months, this will happen. You've got to be able to really stretch the success path out for them in a clear and articulate way, because their brain is thinking, but I want to change right now. I just want to lose all my weight today. Where's my magic wand? I just want my business. I just want all the clients to come pouring in my door tomorrow. I can wait a day. So you have to be thinking about what your client's thinking, and they want change right now. So it's probably easier for you to show them in 3 months solid change that they could wrap their mind around, and you can build that into your offer. Because what you can do with your offer is in 12 weeks, you can tackle the low-hanging fruit, the things that will move their needle the fastest. So the next 12 weeks they work with you, you can start getting into some of the longer haul stuff. It's just like how I have built both of my memberships. In both memberships, I start all my clients off with things that we can implement as fast as possible so that they can start getting results as fast as possible. And then when they get some results, they're willing to stay with you longer because you've already proven to them, not only can you help, but they can do it. And that's the key. And then the last thing that hoses them is, if you're doing 6 to 12 months, is they can't imagine their pain lasting that long. So when you put things into a 12-week container, especially for people who are in the beginning, it's a little bit easier to sell because you can sell the relief in that, it's right there for me to grab moment. So it's just easier to sell something in a shorter term. And then what you can do is you can build a rock solid program that gives good wins in 12 weeks. And then you just like give them results. Like you just work with them. And if they have success, the end of the 12 weeks, and I'm going to teach this in the next month when we're talking about making offers and stuff, we're going to talk about like when people are coming up to the end of their package, how do you set them up to renew without you having to feel like you're selling it all? So we will cover that in next month's November's class when we do making offers. So you can build your longer programs. Like this is what I want all the newbies to hear. And if you've been around for a while, I want you to hear this. Longer term programs are easier to build when you've got your sales chops behind you. You've got momentum at your back on being able to like make money. And you will run your 12-week course and you will start to find what people need next. And then you can build your next level things after that. You'll also be collecting testimonials, which will make it easier for when you decide, like, now I want to be selling 6-month programs at a higher price point. This will make my sales cycle easier and stuff. You'll have testimonials and you'll have things that you can use to make selling those longer programs easier for you. All right. So here is an easy way for you to build a 12-week course. Now, I'm going to go into it deep tomorrow, but I'm going to go into it lightly here, and then I'll take questions from anyone. You can ask me questions about becoming a No BS businesswoman. I'll go over a few of the things that we do inside the membership, and then you can just ask me any of your business questions, specifically if it relates to offers. First thing you're going to do is you're going to grab sticky notes. I wish I could, if I could turn my camera, but I will knock down everything and it will just fall to the ground. I have flip chart after flip chart on my wall over here. Some of it is like just notes that I want to remember, but I've got one where there's sticky notes. Whereas when I'm building courses, I write down everything I would want to teach first on the sticky notes, and I just slam them on a wall. So find you a nice empty wall, find you a whiteboard. You can use like the windows in your office if you want to be able to see the nature and all that stuff. But you just literally, you brainstorm every single thing you think you would want to put in your program. So like you might like say, I want to teach this lesson and I want to teach this lesson and I want to teach this lesson. Like on my wall, here are some of the like the next level things. Retaining clients. How do you keep clients? How do you build a group or O3 coaching program? How do you create social media and schedule it without it being a hassle? What are the Facebook ad basics? Hiring. How do I hire people? Like how do you hire people that are going to fit and that you don't have to fire? Memberships. Like I just have one called memberships. I just want to do a big thing on memberships. I want to do a workshop on diagnosing your business. How do you like look at all your shit and know what's working and what's not? So you start, like I've been thinking about like, if I was going to build a huge course, what all would go in it? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sticky notes and I'm going to pull out the 12 most important things that I think that someone who's starting would need. And that's how I've been doing the business membership. Like a lot of these ideas I have, not in the very beginning. This is not a basics course, but that's my next level stuff. So I want to have that. And I just keep it on one side. So I just go through the sticky notes. I start grouping things. I'll look at them and I'll say like, all right, so this lesson could actually go with this lesson. They're kind of the same. We'll put that in one. Or I'm like, this is like next level, shouldn't be in the first 12 weeks. This is definitely something everybody needs in the first 12 weeks. So you just it's like the magic sorting hat. What am I waiting on? And what are we going to do now? And then I take those sticky notes and I think like, all right, and which ones connect? When I have 12, then I'm ready to organize them. What if I had like one easy trick to do, and I got this from Mike Michalowicz in the Run Like Clockwork revised edition. I learned how to do this there. You take your 12 lessons, okay? And you think, all right, if I could only teach 6, what would they be? So you move the 6 that you don't make the cut, you move them to the side. Then you look at what's left and you're like, all right, of these 6, which 3 would be, if I could only teach 3, what would I teach? And you move the other ones to the side. That's the second level. And then you look at those 3 and you say, if I could only teach one thing and it would change the client's life, what would it be? And that is going to be your lesson 1. And then you look at the 2 that were left behind and you just start reverse engineering. And you're like, all right, of these 2, what would I teach with that one that could change everything? And then you move that one. And then that last one, it becomes number 3. You go through until you've done all of them that way. And that is just an easy way to get some order. You step back, you take a look at it, and you give yourself 10 minutes. And you say like, all right, do I like the order or not? I got 10, and I mean, set a timer, or you perfectionists will overthink this and be crying in your hat. So don't do that to yourself. You set yourself a timer for 10 minutes and you decide we are a go, or you move some stuff around. And at the end of 10 minutes, you're just going to trust this is version 1 of my 12-week course, and we're going to run with it. Because at that point, you could keep thinking over and over and over again, but I'm going to give all of you a super secret tip from an 8-figure business owner. Your magic course that you're going to build is going to get rewritten thousands of times, because as you run clients through it, you're going to be like, ooh, I wish I had included this. Ooh, they keep getting stuck here. They need more of this. Ooh, this doesn't even need to be, this is no longer anything I want to even teach. I have had the No BS weight loss course now for years. I think we started, it's probably, 4 years, and it's been rewritten 6 times. I am now in the process of rewriting it from the ground up again. I just released modules 1 and 2, and then in the fall, I'm releasing in January, I'm releasing module 3 and 4, and I'm redoing it one more time, because you don't want to over perfect in the beginning. You want to get your version 1 so that you can get fast feedback from clients by coaching and teaching and putting people through it. And then you're like, okay, it would make sense to change these things. I keep answering these same questions. So you want to get it into action as fast as possible. So once you have your order, the way that I do it is I take one lesson at a time and I just do a thought download. A thought download is just where I'm just going to type or write that one topic, and I'm going to use a course framework that's super simple. It's called Let's Talk About. So I'm like, all right, let's talk about this. Step 2 is this is important because, and I just write down, why is this so important to people? Then I think to myself, do I have a personal story that I can tell that shows how I went from A to B with this? For example, inside my weight loss membership, I have a story when I talk about not stalls and plateaus and not freaking out about them. I tell a story about when I was on a 6-week stall. I was doing all the things, and there was this one day where I got on the scale and I was so pissed that I said, fuck this, I might as well be eating. And it was in that moment when it was like my brain went off and it said, oh no. That's how you always talk to yourself every single time you've quit a diet. You need to keep going. And I remember sitting there and just telling myself, that is how old Corinne thought. And it never helped. New Corinne is going to keep going. New Corinne is going to know that everything that she's doing, whether she loses another pound or not, is better than sitting on the couch every day eating the ice cream. So I tell that story in that course. And then after I tell the story, I'm like, and I know you can do it too, because I've been there. So it's, let's talk about, it's important because, do you have a story about you or a client? Then you go into, you can do it too. And here's why. Then you teach whatever that little piece that you want to teach is. So it's whatever that week's lesson is, that's what you teach. And then you have a call to action, whether you give them an asset or you have them do a worksheet, or y'all do some coaching. Now, if you're live teaching, you can literally just so what I do is I write all of that as a script for a video. So you could do that in Keynote and you could pre-record. If you want to just live teach in the very beginning, you're just literally going to do, let's talk about it's important because, and skip the story part, and then teach them what you want to teach them, and then start coaching. And that's how you come up with like a 12-week thing for your clients. And then some weeks you may build into your program. I don't teach anything. Like 1 week I teach, we coach a little. The next week it's just like, all right, I want to coach you on what happened the last week. You get to decide your outline. You get to decide how you structure your program. Just remember, if you want it to be compelling, it needs to be something that someone feels like they can do, that they can see getting out of pain fast. It needs to be set up in such a way that you've thought about, like, what would your person succeed most with? And how do I spend more time making sure that I cover their pain points than just packing junk into my program? The most compelling offers are not full of your time and their time. When people are buying something from you, they're buying, how fast can I feel better? They're not buying hours and hours of worksheets, videos, and calls with you. So always be thinking about, how can I tighten up my program so that somebody can get success? So in our workshop, we're going to go over that 12-week framework. I'm going to talk more about how many progress checkpoints that you need during the program. And then how do you set that renewal process up as part of the program? So I'm going to gear you up for next month. So I'll be talking about how do you set the renewal part up so that you can renew people after 12 weeks easily. And then in making offers next month, we'll kind of go more into the languaging behind it. And then I'm also going to do, there's 3 key things that every program, whether you're doing one-on-one or group coaching, needs. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow inside of our workshop. So if you're a No BS businesswoman, you can look forward to all of that. And then how to price your program so that you're not vomiting at having to sell it, but you're also not undervaluing you or your product. All right, so let me see if we have some questions. Let me go over to where my questions come in. So don't forget, right now, if somebody needs to hear this, please make sure you tag them. Share it on your social if you want. Share it in your groups. If you're in the coaching posse and you want to recap what you learned and tell everybody to go watch this video, feel free to do it. And y'all can ask me questions in different places. If you also want to, I have a social, get over your social bullshit video. If you just want to get on my email list, you can go to freevideo.nobsbusinesswomen.com. And you can sign up, and that will get you not only my Get Over Your Social Bullshit video, but it will also get you on my mailing list so that you never miss when I go live or have free teachings or anything like that. All right. My brain hurts from this. Prior advice was to set length for time it takes to get results. Okay, then do that. There's no reason why your brain needs to hurt over this. Here's what's always going to happen, and I don't know who asked this, but this is really key when it comes to CEO mindset. When you study business, it's just like studying weight loss. There's 1,000 diets out there, and I guarantee you they all work if you work them. Just like I've got my advice, and guess what? My advice works if you work it, just like somebody else's advice works if you work it. I just happen to have the opinion that this makes things easier for people. But that doesn't mean that you need to suddenly go into, oh my God, I'm hearing conflicting messages. This is terrible. Wah, wah, wah. Watch that. This is really an important part of being a No BS businesswoman, is that we do a lot of mindset coaching. CEOs like me, when I am trying to figure out a new funnel, when I am trying to figure out how to list build, when I'm trying to figure out things and I go and I study, here's what I'm never doing. I am never sitting around bemoaning about conflicting advice. I don't have time for that shit. You know what I do? I make decisions. I'm like, That sounds like something I should try. I don't like that. I'm already head first into all of this, so I'm going to keep going there. Like, successful people don't sit around and think about like what's wrong with them. It doesn't mean that we have like Teflon mental capacities and stuff. It means we just don't sit around and do that a lot. So like one of the things to think about is like when you hear all of this different types of advice, like somebody said, make a longer offer to get the results. And this is the thing. At the end of 12 weeks, like I said in the earlier, it's like if I was going to, like, let's say I'm going to work with people who have 100 pounds to lose, and I'm going to start with a 12-week program. Do you think that I'm going, like, if I wanted to work with someone who had 100 pounds to lose, then I need to come up with like an 18-month-long program? Because in my mind, that's how long it takes for someone to truly lose 100 pounds, keep it off, and know what the fuck they're doing. I am never going to try to sell an 18-month-long program just because I know that's how long it takes. I would sell a 12-week program to say like, and by the end of 12 weeks, here's the result that you'll have. You will go from fearing everything you put into your mouth to knowing what works for you and what doesn't. You will go from getting on the scale and dreading or avoiding it every day to being able to weigh once a week and use it as information as to how to do a little bit better the next week, as to how to like cheerlead yourself on. By the end of 12 weeks, you'll know how to cheer yourself on. You won't be relying on me anymore. So really think about like, you can decide how long you want your courses to be and stuff, but like, what can you deliver at the end of 12 weeks? And if you're a baller salesperson, then go for 6, go for 12. I have something coming out in a couple months. It's going to be a 6-month program. You know why I'm doing 6? Because I already know how to sell. Like I've been doing it for a long time. I know what needs to be said. This is advice. If you want to quickly get something up and running, and you don't want to like spend half your life. Like I love you course whores. Y'all take a ton of courses and then you get into course whore mode of creation. It's like, well, before I even make an offer, I need to have this perfect 6 to 1 year program all crafted and done. And you sit there and you tinker with that so that you don't ever have to go out and ask somebody, hey, you want to pay me to work with me? So I don't want any of you falling into those traps. So just decide what it is you want to do for yourself. I'm still in my certification program and have a plan to launch my coaching program in January or February. Is it too early for me to be learning all of your business information? I don't think so. Not in my opinion. I don't think it's too early to learn any business information. Like you can go ahead and be list building. You can go like while you're going through certification, you can go ahead and create a freebie for whoever your niche is. You can identify your niche. You can work on this client avatar stuff. You can go ahead and be learning these things. Those are things that you can be doing. It's just up to you. But here's what I wouldn't do. Don't join my program, any of you. I am not looking for overwhelmers. That is not my market. I will help you with overwhelm. But if you know yourself enough to know that, like, if I jump in, I usually am triggered to be overwhelmed. Coach yourself on that and then join us when you're just like, I am lucky that I'm the kind of person who studies and I take things in and I give myself a good foundation. If we're in LCS now, when is a good time to join No BS? It depends on which No BS you're talking. If you're talking like if you're weight loss at any time, because I know a lot of the LCS people go through certification to become a weight loss coach. And a lot of y'all join No BS because I teach weight loss so different. I'm more like an intuitive eating. Like that's like we're all about like learning how to trust your body, learn how to like get back to real eating, how to overcome a lot of the bullshit thinking. We're not a tactics kind of group. So a lot of LCS coaches join the weight loss program to kind of study that while they go along with their coach certification. If you are going through coach certification, and you think you're going to be building your business as you go along, join at any time. If you are going to get easily distracted and get pulled in too many directions, I'd finish coach certification. And then the second coach certification is over, I'd look to doing me. That's how I would do it. I just want to be honest with y'all. What I don't want is, I don't mind coaching everybody through their overwhelm at all. I really don't. I love the mindset coaching, and I love to show people that they have so much choice and agency over how much they do. But what I don't want is for you to be shittily doing two things. So when, for me, my business is my life. Like when I take courses, I'm running my business, I'm running my family, I'm running my personal life. Like I'm really good at managing my mind and my time. And so I can do multiple courses, masterminds, run 2 businesses. We're getting ready to buy a restaurant. Like I can do all that because I don't ever think things are out of my control. I am always using my planner, and I'm always just like, today, you're going to choose what's the most important thing to work on today. And that's how I keep myself calm. So for all of you, when you're thinking about things, I want you to consider when you start your day, are you starting your day thinking everything runs you? Or are you sitting back and taking a breath and saying, here's how I'm going to run my day? And being willing to do that. Now, inside the No BS Business Women's course, when you join, the very first workshop I have you listen to is our 90-day planner course, because it is I'll bring it up on my laptop or my computer. Maybe y'all can see it. I have everyone use our No BS planner, and I teach you how to use it. And it starts with, I don't know if you can see that, but there's the No BS Business Planner. You can print it or you can do it digitally. I do it in GoodNotes, but it will have you set your yearly goals. And then every quarter, you will set your quarterly business goals. So if you're brand new, like your quarterly business goal might be to set up your first 12-week program. It might be to come up with a freebie and set up your email service provider. That like we give you all the different workshops inside of our membership, and we're getting ready to roll out like a path of like, do this first, do this second, do those kinds of things. But you would set up like your quarterly goals. And then every month we do our monthly goals. And the reason why I have you do so much goal setting is because every day I want you working on something that's going to move your business forward. I don't want you just working on urgent work, what somebody else needs, people-pleasing work, afraid to say no work. I don't want you doing any of that. Every day, whatever you work on must be purposeful. So the best way to do that is this method that I have created, where when you set your yearlies, every quarter you look at your yearly goals and you pick some do goals that support the yearly. And then every month you look at your quarterly goals and you pick your goals that support your quarterly. So you have these things you're going to get done in order to get those done. Then every week when you plan, you set goals to accomplish for the week. So you'll notice your goals are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Your tasks are getting smaller and smaller. The weekly supports whatever the month is. And then each day when you wake up, you look at what you're supposed to accomplish for the week, and you plan 1 to 3 important things to make sure that every week you accomplish your weekly goals. When you do that, that means every day with that system, you are always working towards your big yearly goal. It keeps you from getting off track. That doesn't mean that you can't do tasks. They're just not done before work that supports bigger goals. So I teach you how to do all that. And then we have how to build your first valuable free offer, your freebie. We teach you how to set up the email sequence for that freebie. So, you'll spend about 30 days creating your first freebie. The first thing you want people to opt in, setting up some of that tech. The next thing you'll do is take the workshop on all the emails that go with it. I give you all of those emails that we use inside of our business. You can use them as frameworks. And I give you how to outline all the emails so that you can write your own. We talk about copy and stuff. We also have, creating offers. We just have a lot of really cool things happening. And then next month is making the offer. So it's a lot about consult calls. And then how do you roll your consult calls up into now, I'm not going to do calls anymore. Now I'm going to do it in a video. And then once I'm doing it, and now I'm going to have to do it in emails or on lives. So we kind of teach you how to scale things, but we got to have the basics down first. And then in December, we're going to do list building. We're going to have a big list building thing. And then the next month is going to be, the next year is going to be exciting. I got all kinds of things. One other thing that's getting ready to happen is in a few weeks, I think it's like in 2 weeks for all of my No BS business women. Me and Sarah are going to sit down and do a live call, and we are going to break down our biggest launch we ever had in No BS weight loss. So we got 3,800 plus new weight loss clients in our launch that we closed last Friday. And we're going to talk to you about how we structured it. We have given y'all the link to our personal database of every single piece of copy that went out for it. So all of you have that already. We'll talk about metrics. We'll talk about how we pivot, how we plan time, like just how that week looks and all that kind of stuff. So we are going to be teaching that. I am going to send out an invitation to people who are outside the membership to be able to drop in and participate. But the replay will probably be only for my No BS business women. And then inside the membership, y'all can ask me questions as much as you want in the Consult the Experts thread that we start every week. So every week we have a Consult the Experts thread where me, my marketing people, coaches and stuff go in and we're working with people on their business questions. Then once a month they have a CEO mindset call, and we are moving to having 2 hot seat Q&A type calls starting in November or starting in October. So we're going to stop doing the monthly planning call because I'm just going to have y'all do it in Facebook where you can just post to me, and you all can just post your plans. Like this is what my monthly plan looks like. What does everybody else plan? So you can get ideas. But I think we'll do better now that we're getting bigger if we have 2 hot seat calls where we can really talk about like let me help y'all brainstorm things. If I join now and need help through a past course, can I still get help working through that even though that's not the current thing you're working on? Oh yeah, you can ask questions at all times. So we have a private Facebook group. And then anytime, like every single week we have the Consult the Experts thread. So you can ask us questions anytime you're working on that stuff. And then we have everything set up to where you just have a lot of access to us. So don't worry about that. All right. So if you want to join, if you will go to nobsbusinesswomen.com, it's $297 a month. You can stay as long as you want. I promise we're going to take good care of you. You can join today and get access to the planner. You will be ready for our live workshop tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Time. And if you can't make it, guess what? We stick it into replays. Everything is archived and everything is replayed. And then if you just want to be on my mailing list and you want to make sure you get notified of things, you can always go to freevideo.nobsbusinesswomen.com. The last thing I'll ask before we leave is everybody tag someone who needs to hear this message. You need to do this at the end of every live that you have, y'all. Do not forget to ask your people to share you. Your best marketing are the people who get value from you. If someone says you should listen to Corinne, like I watched this live, she was banging. Now I know how to create a 12-week program. Whatever it is, you always want to be doing that. So quick tip when it comes to social, don't waste a live by not telling people what to do when they leave. So tag someone, share it, anything you need to get the word out. I will greatly appreciate it. All right, y'all. Have a good one. I'll see you next month if I don't see you tomorrow when you join nobsbusinesswomen.com. All right. Bye, y'all.